I'm still mad, of course. This dude's trying to steal from me. I get out the car, and he's like, oh shit, you got out the car. And he puts his fist up, and I put my fist up. All right, so this is the story of how I convinced a robber to steal an iPad instead of a car. This happened in 2012, right after I graduated from college in 2011 from the University of Maryland, as you can see. So I got this job at a place called Ace Marketing. I don't know if they're gonna mind. I mean, they're not a company anymore, so it's whatever. And it was like a door-to-door job, door-to-door, like knocking to get people to sign up for a charity. It's like $25 a month to support a kid in need in other countries. I had done like Silver Spring, Maryland, and this was like my first week in Northeast DC was where like they had assigned me. So I was having a rough week, man. I was like knocking on doors. I didn't get any like sign-ups that week, like no money if you don't get sign-ups. It was rough, and I didn't get any that morning. So I came back to my car for lunch. The car was a white Dodge Charger, white 2009 Dodge Charger, like nice car. My first car that I ever had. And as soon as I get in, I don't know why I didn't lock the door. There's a dude in a mask, like scrawny dude with like a ski mask on. He opens the door and he grabs my tie, because I'm wearing a tie. Like he grabs the tie, he's like, get out the car. Get it, I'm taking your car. I don't get out the car.
You looked at dead in the eyes.
I was like, I just did not obey what he was trying to tell me to do. I was like, you got that frustration in you from a long work day. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not gonna do what you're asking me to do. So I didn't get out of the car, and we just started arguing. Basically, I was like, nah, what you mean? What are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not getting out of the car. And it turns into a negotiation basically, because I'm in like a sales mentality of like trying to sell people on signing up for something all day. So I try to convince him to take something else in the car. Like I have a classic iPod. I try to get him to take that. It's like, it's not that expensive, so I wouldn't really care. He's not going for that. I had a Garmin GPS. I tried to get him to take that. He didn't want that. He looks at the iPad that I'm using to sign people up. It's expensive, but he wants that. So he reaches in, he grabs my iPad, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna take this iPad. And he closes my door and he's walking away, right? I'm still mad, of course. This dude's trying to steal from me. I get out the car and he's like, oh shit, you got out the car. And he puts his fist up, and I put my fist up. So now we're like squaring off, we're about to fight, right? So I make a quick calculation in my head, like, if I lose this fight, he's gonna take the car and the iPad, and I'm gonna lose this fight to like a high school kid. Or he might have a knife or a gun. I'm sure he didn't though, otherwise he probably would have used it. So I let it go. I let him take the iPad. And then the company I work for forced me to pay for the iPad out of my paycheck. And they didn't pay me $400 from a paycheck. They, like, after people didn't work there, like sometimes they just wouldn't pay people. It was like a shady company.
Okay.
So I had to file a complaint with the Department of Labor to get that money back. And then when I went to go get the money back, I showed up in the office and he was mad at me. He was trying to gaslight me.
For getting robbed.
It's like, I got robbed, you made me pay for it, and you didn't pay me $400, and now you're mad at me, bro. He's like, I invited you to my house, how could you do this to me? It was like, nah, man, like, give me my money.
Did he not believe you? Or was it just...
No, they believed me. It's just like policy, like if something happens to iPad, even if you got robbed or died, like you have to pay for it. It's standard no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the moral of the story, one moral of the story is, if there's a company that ends with marketing, like it could be like a shady company. Because a lot of those companies end with it sounds like a marketing company, but it's really like door to door.
Okay.
Yeah. But
did you call the police?
I went to the police station right after, and like nothing happened. I filed a report and nothing happened. They probably
could
just
never find him.
no, they couldn't.
Yeah.
So he literally he grabbed your tie. He didn't have a weapon.
No, not that I know of.
No,
Yeah,
so
I could have
yeah.
fought him. Yeah,
No.
but I mean,
I wouldn't.
I didn't want to lose. Yeah.
Were you in a position you could have driven off, like just drove away?
The car wasn't on.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but like looking, if I could go back in time, I would have tried to. But it would have been, it could have turned into like a physical like struggle.
Yeah.
Like him trying to get me out.
Yeah.
I could have run him over, but I didn't want to do that
No.
because I saw him running down the street. I was like, no.
Oh right, because after he left.
After he left, he just started like broke off running.
Oh.
Yeah.